What the hell happened? Is some bitch just?
I didn't either. I thought you did that yourself.
No. Now it's working, so we're good.
Okay.
What's up, Andy? Sorry about that. Now we're live. Now we're working.
All right.
I thought you had enough of us, Blevin.
No. I just for some reason something went wrong. Anyway.
So all right, so had enough of us. Well, it's okay too.
That's right. Everybody, this is Talkbox Live. We're here with Mr. Keith Caruso and me, Blevins Vox, and we're talking with Mr. Go ahead, Keith.
We're talking with Mr. Andy Barrels, the Black Diamonds bassist from Switzerland this afternoon. Andy, how are you today, buddy?
Hello, everybody. Doing fantastic.
Good.
It looks like the sun's shining over there. Is it a nice day?
It's a pretty nice day today. After 3 days of rain, it's a welcome change.
Nice. Yeah, it's a beautiful
glad
day
when it
here
gets warm. I'm in my house and I'm still cold, freezing, and got the heat on. I don't know what's wrong.
Oh, don't trust the pictures. You know, with me, there's two colors of skin. It's either ketchup or mayonnaise.
So Andy, we're blessed to have you on today. Thank you for joining us. Like I said in the part where we dropped and everything, we were talking. I first discovered you guys with the if I can get it in here, No-Tell Motel record. Like I said, I stumbled onto the video, and for those of you who don't know, if you're a fan of melodic rock, 80s rock, just good old-fashioned rock, these guys are phenomenal. They keep the heartbeat alive, so to speak. Really good stuff.
Before you go any further, I got a question. There's a lot of being from Switzerland, there's a lot of metal out there. Are y'all more metal? I haven't Keith has not turned me on to y'all yet. He has, but he hadn't, I haven't listened to anything. So y'all more metal or rock or?
Well, we call ourselves a rock band, hard rock band. There are some metal bands in Switzerland, but after all, the rock and roll scene is not very big, and most of it is, well, underground, like in most other countries nowadays, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's some really good stuff. Like I said, I think I as I was telling you earlier, I don't know how I stumbled onto you guys. It was a video. I do a lot of stuff on YouTube, and I look at different bands, and I do my stuff, and I stumbled onto you guys, and I was like, holy shit, these guys are killer, And then I saw the video for Evil Twin, and laughed my ass off at the video itself. But the music was really, the song was awesome. The video was cracking me up. I'm like, this is great. And so, like I said, I went back and checked out some of the other stuff, some older stuff, and then I ordered that and anything else you guys had from your website. And you guys actually threw in some cool shit with it as well, which I greatly appreciate. Signed the CD there for me. Pretty awesome. And I've been rocking it since it stayed in my car. It's no shit now. It stayed in my car for over 2 weeks. That was like all I listened to for 2 weeks.
Awesome.
So it was, it's a really, really good record. And, I'm hoping with things the way they are, the music scene is crazy, but I'm hoping at some point you guys are going to be able to get a chance to come over to this side of the pond, and I'll be able to catch you guys live because you look like you have a lot of fun on stage. So how long have you guys been together consistently with this lineup?
Well, the lineup has changed before the album was recorded. Our former guitar player left us for private reasons. And while most of the songs were already written, we were facing the discussion whether to continue as a band or not.
Right.
Because getting a new band member is always it's very difficult. You need somebody that understands your kind of music, but also that you get along with, because you spend more time off stage and off writing music together. And if somebody's a pain in the ass, it can get quite awkward.
Yeah, Chris understands that. Chris is in a band, so he knows.
Yeah.
It's like pulling teeth.
Exactly. But sometimes it's like you have endless numbers of teeth, you know.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So you got the new guy in there, and you didn't re-record anything on this record. You left it the way it was.
No. We just wrote the demos before he came.
Oh, okay.
And, it was like he came in. He played with us, I think, two different songs, and we spoke beforehand, and we said, whoever this guy is, we will not hire him on the spot. We need to find some other candidates and check them out. And then there's this, very gentle, very calm guy, and he's so nice. And we're like, okay. And then he starts playing, and he's from another world.
Right.
So in the end, we blew our decision, and we said, you want to get the job, you have it.
Nice. Okay. All right. So you went completely against what you were going to do in the first place.
Exactly. And then he wrote all the solos on the album himself, but the song structure was mostly given already. It's just he did his solo thing, and we told him, here is your freedom, do what you want. And it was like his playing was very complementary to the singing, and his melodies were having a melody of their own. And I thought it was just blending perfectly.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. That helps out tremendously then.
Yeah. Yes, it did.
So,
afterwards, we even found out he could sing as well.
So who does most of your writing?
All of us do some contributions. All of us come in with ideas.
Okay.
But never in the same room and never together.
Really? Okay.
We're pretty inefficient if we do that.
Okay.
And it's like Michael and I, singer and I, we do a lot of the lyrics and vocal melodies together, but riffs come in from everybody. Even a drummer brings in some keyboard riffs and stuff like that, and we work on that. So everybody just to share, I think.
Okay. So now, how long have you been playing, music? When did you pick up the bass, and did you start with the bass for that matter?
No, I didn't. We formed the Black Diamonds in 2004, the singer and I. I mean, we go back to school. We went to school together, and we played in a school band. And after a few years after school, we said, I would like to do some music again. And then that's when we decided to do the Black Diamonds. And we started off as a cover band. Both of us were playing the guitar, and we went through some changes in personnel. And the last big change was when we hired a former guitar player. He came in as a temporary replacement on bass. And he was a great guy, and we got along so good. And we asked him to join permanently, and he was like, I would join, but not on bass. If I can play the guitar, I'll be with you guys.
Okay.
And that was the point when I decided, okay, guys, I will switch to bass if we can have him, because the chemistry is right. It feels good.
Sure.
It's more important.
Sure. Okay. All right. That makes sense.
I think that's 7 years ago now.
Okay. So where do you get your ideas for your songs?
Sometimes it's a title that comes to your head. It just sounds good.
Yeah.
The Evil Twin was brought in from a friend of ours. And he literally was the Evil Twin. If we went out together, he would start drinking and he would become somebody else. But apart from that, it's mostly things that you see in real life and things you can relate to and happenings. And sometimes it's also a melody that sounds good. And then you think, what could it sound like? What could be an appropriate title for that kind of melody or riff.
Do you write your melodies or your riffs first and then your lyrics, or sometimes both? I mean, or does it vary, or how does your writing process go?
There is no master plan for that. I've started some songs with just a title. I was driving in my car and I got an idea for a title. I made a stop, wrote down the title, and later on I tried to play some music that would fit it.
Okay, all right.
But as I said, also sometimes we start a song based on a riff, and then we just try to get a feeling for it. What could it feel like? What would be an appropriate message and title for this riff?
All right. Okay. All right. Sweet. So have you since this record's been out a little while now, you guys back to touring, I guess, a little bit over there from what I've been reading anyway. Things are opening up a little bit.
Yeah.
A little more freedom to do some shows.
It's, let's say, from one difficult to another difficult, because now all the clubs are opening again, but everybody wants to go back to play. So it's not so easy to get to play shows. And the festival lineups, I think they're booked from like 2019.
Yeah.
I mean, all the slots are already taken. They still have the same lineups. But apart from that, we have played a few nice shows, and there's some things going on still in our schedules, and we're looking forward to that.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I have friends right now in town that are visiting from Germany.
Cool.
And as a matter of fact, I'm drinking a little tomato juice basically right now because we were up throwing down a few last night.
I thought tomato juice was just a thing for planes, you know.
Exactly.
My stepdad used to pour tomato juice on top of his beer can, so when he drank a sip of beer, the tomato juice would mix with the beer, and I thought that was.
I've heard that before.
That's wild. No, I never tried.
I've heard that.
That is wild.
But so yeah, I'm a little foggy, right?
Don't let him lie. He stays foggy. No, wait a minute. That's me. That's me that stays
in
foggy.
the regular state of mood.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, but we were talking about that with them, as far as Germany's opening up as well. Things are kind of getting back to normal, it seems like, over there as well. So we've been doing some stuff here since last year, and it's starting to open up more and more and more. So it's getting back to somewhat normalcy, I guess. Yeah. Have you guys started working on a new record yet?
Yeah, we have started writing on songs already last year. We got some great ideas already as demos.
Okay.
And I think there's something like 20 different songs that we're working on. Some are still in a very incomplete shape. Some are with a versus chorus. I think there's going to be a great record in the shelves in a few months. Probably not this year. I guess later next year.
Okay, cool. I'll be looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, I was just checking out some of the videos and stuff, and you said Evil Twin. That's a pretty funny video. But yeah, I keep putting it on mute so it won't be playing, over the top of y'all singing and talking and everything. But yeah, it's cool stuff, man. Have y'all ever been over here to the States, or any plans to try to come over here?
Well, we've been here as we've been there as private citizens, and Michael and I, we spent some time in the States writing songs a couple of years ago. But we never had the chance to play. That's not as easy, especially as foreigners.
Yeah.
And we still hope for the chance or an opportunity to do that properly.
Yeah.
You guys
don't enjoy music.
It's harder as a smaller band to come over here and play without a tag along with a larger band, I guess.
It's also there is some, from a law side of the things, it's not so easy, work permit and stuff like that. Yeah, countries make things more complicated. Rock bands are one union, but countries and borders make it more complex.
Yes,
especially now after the last couple of years.
Yes.
Actually, the last, I'd say 10 years, but it's really worse the last 2 years. So
yeah, and the walls are rather increasing than decreasing, and the barriers as well.
Yeah.
See, that's
oh yeah, I could imagine.
I mean, even here, if you look at a map, Switzerland is a very small country. Our neighbors are Germany, Austria, France, and Italy. And Germany, for example, just only came out of the COVID situation. I think it's 2 weeks ago when they stopped the measures. And in Switzerland, we've been free to do things for 2-3 months. So it's quite wild when you live literally like a few miles from each other, but the whole country works in a different style and way.
Yeah, I can see that. That would be like living here in Ohio and not being able to go to Indiana to play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now let's be honest, we are no Ohio, no Indiana. We're so small, we're like a part of it.
It's hard to imagine that Switzerland's that small. I mean, that is wild. Okay.
If you take the longest drive, it takes you probably 4 hours to come from one end of the country to the other end. It is small.
Wow.
That's
that's smaller than I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit bigger than that.
No, it isn't. It's maybe a little bit like if you go to Colorado, you got some mountains in between. So it's not that easy, but apart from that, it's small.
Yeah.
No, I've heard it's gorgeous over there. I've had a few people that have visited, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Well, I guess you're familiar with that. What you see every day is like something that you turn a blind eye on.
Yes.
You always strive for the things you don't have and you don't see every day. So
yes.
Right.
I think I was in the States 6 times, and I planned to come back 2 years ago, but the plans were crushed due to the COVID. But still, I'd love to go back as soon as possible.
We'll come back to Ohio so we can have a few beers together.
That would be a great idea. I'm afraid you will drink me under the table with your tomato juice things and stuff like that. I'm a little afraid.
How is now when you did come over to the States here, did you go out to any clubs or venues or anything and see music?
Yes. I think the second time we went there, we went to Vegas at the same time when Def Leppard was playing.
Okay. So you went to a big venue.
Big venue.
Okay.
But also we did most of the smaller clubs in Hollywood.
Okay. Like the Whiskey or the Rocks or the Rainbow or something.
Exactly, and we even checked out the Viper Room, although it was a hip hop show that night. But we just went in for one short beer and back out again. We just had to see it.
Yes. Okay.
Now, my question is, stemming from that is, how are the venues, clubs, places like that to play over in Switzerland, considering it is very small, is there a big difference in how they operate that you can tell? Or, I mean, I know the people the patrons are different, different attitudes, different everything. But I mean, as far as, I don't know how they, what's the word I'm looking for, Keith? Not operate, but
I think I can answer that question. It's
interactions, things like that.
Things like Whiskey or Go, where you have 6-7 bands.
Yeah, like if with music being there, does it, like here, it doesn't matter if it's a good band or not. It really kind of depends on not the day, but just, I don't know. There's a lot of, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but there's a lot of reasons behind why people don't show up. stuff like that. I mean, do you notice a difference between the two countries, or?
I think we also have to consider that things have changed a lot here in the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
People are still kind of reluctant to go to shows.
Yeah.
But even before that, the club scene was rather dying. A lot of famous and well-known and established clubs were going out of business because
Same here.
I think that's what you wanted to know. Yeah, people are going to concerts less than they used to.
Mm-hmm.
Popular music is, well, no music you can play live, or at least the artists can't do that.
Right. Absolutely.
That seems like it's going on everywhere and has been for years. I remember back in the late 90s, I played a show, my band anyway, we played a show. There was 1,000 people at the club. We were playing outside on the deck.
Mm-hmm.
We played to one person, my wife, and there was 1,000 people inside listening to damn booty music. And I was like, what the? We still got paid, but it sucks.
Yeah, but
It
sucks, and it makes you angry, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, we've been pretty angry with the radio stations over here. I mean, you do have some rock channels, but not on open frequencies.
Really?
It's either digital or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But all the other channels, the official channels, they play the same music over and over again. And if there's a song that they play to you till you're like, if I hear it one more time, I'm going to kill somebody, they find the next one and bring you to the same point.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
They do that here, though, too, Andy.
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
They do it here.
Oh, they do here, too. Yeah. You can probably set your clock to every, I would say, 3 hours, maybe not even that long.
Exactly.
And hear the same damn song again. Probably 12 times a day if I had to, and within a 24-hour span, if not more. So, and I hate it because that's why I don't listen to the radio anymore, because I catch myself going around singing shit that I can't stand, but it's because I've heard it so damn many times. It's imprinted into my brain.
If you see behind me, Andy, you see that wall. I don't listen to the radio very much.
Can I read Celine Dion?
No.
No, it's Salt and Pepper.
Oh, I'm right beside it. Now I see.
Yeah. All right, very funny, fellas. Very funny. Yeah, I don't listen to the radio very often because although I love AC/DC, I've heard the same songs from Back in Black 400,000 times.
Thank you. Yeah. Exactly my thinking as well.
And the radio stations over here, although AC/DC, for instance, has a large catalog to choose from, they play the same songs from the same record. They don't expand anywhere.
Well, they do. Every once in a while, you'll hear TNT or something from the Bon Scott era, but not much.
No,
you don't hear a whole lot of Rosie, which I want to hear.
Not as often as you should.
Yeah, I don't think you hear it at all. On the
radio. I mean, as far as expanding, you don't. Right. They don't do it enough. You'll hear Back in Black, 15 times a week, if not more. And it's like, okay,
all night long.
Yeah, and that's great, but I've been listening to that song for 40 years. There's more songs on that record that are really good. Play some of those.
You're showing your age, buddy.
Hey, you know what?
But you know what?
Music
was so good back then.
It was.
And it still is today, but it's very few and far between.
Well, and that's what really makes me appreciate guys like you, because you guys are playing music in the style that I grew up with, that the best years of my life as a teenager and so forth, as a young man, those were the soundtrack to my youth, the soundtrack to my life. Mm-hmm. And I can put no-tell motel in my car and damn near transport myself back to 1989 again, because it fits so well with that genre of hard. And I'm not lumping you guys in with those quote unquote hair metal guys.
Yeah, that's a hard thing not to do.
But the hard rock style of music,
right,
that was popular, the LA Guns, the Kicks, my God, Night Ranger, one of my favorite bands, who's not even a hair metal band, things like that, or the Van Halen, for God's sakes. I could picture, and this is no lie, I could picture you guys opening up for Van Halen back in the day and fitting perfectly on stage with the fans that were there to see Van Halen, because that music transcends,
And what's your age, Andy?
I'm 38 years old.
38. Okay. All right. So, so you didn't grow up in the you were, so when were you born?
83.
83. Okay. So you were really young in the 80s, but see, that's what I like. And that's the one thing I love is the fact that, did you have older siblings to turn you on to music?
No,
you didn't.
The funny thing is, what Keith just told is something like I can relate to very much, because when I was young, I went to school and we had some friends, a group of friends that was into rock music, and we turned each other on to the albums that our parents had.
Same with me.
I borrowed them, and I still have them here.
You're that guy. He's got all my fucking tapes from back in the day.
No, exactly. Don't lend Andy anything.
No, it was just my mother's. I gave back the regular stuff. I have to be honest about that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I loaned a friend of mine in '86 my Steeler tape with Yngwie Malmsteen and Ron Keel on it, and to this day I still haven't got that son of a bitch back, and that was like '86. Anyway.
And he's still listening to it, by the way.
Oh, yeah, he probably
one of
is.
the albums whom you gave it to.
Oh yeah, I do. So,
yeah, but
that's cool,
Here as well. And
yeah.
If I go back to your question about the clubs, I think rock music doesn't have that kind of platform anymore. It's different. You don't have even MTV. You used to play rock music. And there's nothing like that anymore. People don't get exposed to rock music unless it's the same 3 songs of AC/DC.
Yes.
Yeah, and and that's very true. And then we have YouTube, but it's not like there's sections. I mean, people have their own. It's kind of like Spotify. You can make your own playlist and you can send it to people and they can listen to your playlist and stuff like that. But it's just not the same as turning on the TV and being able, a certain time you had, 5 in the afternoon, you had, whatever was popular at the time. Saturday nights, you could turn on
Bangers Ball, baby.
Yeah. Exactly. You knew when that stuff was coming out. Now it's so readily available.
But you know when it's not coming on, right?
Well, yeah, but
right now.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is on YouTube and all that stuff is so easy to get now that people don't want it. Is it? Yeah. Is that true?
Yes and no.
Not that they don't want it, but it's like, oh well, I can come back and get that later.
It's also like an overflow of information, an overkill of information. You got so many opportunities, and if you don't have like a guide that leads you to something, it's difficult to not get lost in a jungle of different possibilities.
Yeah. I think that's why nobody can, I personally have kind of tunnel visioned in my music. I like a little bit of country, old school country. I listened to NWA and Ice-T back in the day and in the 80s and shit, Yeah. Shut up, Keith. Anyway, but my biggest genre was rock, and I listened to metal and rock, and now there's just so many different ones that my wife says I'm tunnel vision because I love the 80s, and I'm sorry, I just do. But now everything is so readily available. It's hard to make your mind up. Yes. I guess as a youngster, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does. It's even hard and difficult to find new music that would kind of interest you, because there's so many, and I really have to say there's so many good music out there.
Yeah.
But to find it is way more
Keith
complicated.
Doesn't think so, but
Hey, listen. I'm older than you guys, so I'm allowed to be old and stuck in my ways, okay?
You're not that damn old. What are you, 54?
53.
53. Oh, see, I was out there. I'll be 52 in May. You're not that damn old.
So, thank you.
But one thing is similar with all of us. All of us don't listen to the radio. I still hear the same old songs over and over again in my car. I love it.
That's right.
And that's pulsating life. That's the heartbeat. That's what keeps us going on, right?
Absolutely.
I wonder if that has something to do with what I do, because pertaining to the radio thing, is because I will put a CD. I don't know if it's laziness or what, or just my mentality, but I'll put a CD in there and I won't change that some bitch for 3 months. I'll listen to the same damn CD over and over again.
Yeah. But
just
then
because,
then you're also familiar with the feeling you put on a CD and you're like, could be better. A little disappointed, to the point, no, actually it's quite good. And then you start to love it. And at that moment, it's like, nothing's going to change it.
Right. You warm up to it. It takes a few spins to get it to warm up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I found that to be true with every one of your records, by the way. But
usually it's the better way. I have some experience also where, like, blown away by the first time you listen to it. Second time it's still okay, but then it gets worse because it's too.
No, boring. See, but I was joking, but again, and I've talked about your record with other people. A friend of mine actually, hopefully I'm going to have him check this show out. Is he likes the newer stuff, and we were driving somewhere, and I had this in my car in the CD player, and he's like, "Hey, who's this?" And I said, "Oh, these guys from Switzerland I've been digging here lately." And I said, I went out, I bought their 3 discs and stuff, and I said they sent me some cool shit, and I said I've been, talking back and forth with you on Facebook and whatnot. I said, seemed like a really, really good group of guys that put out some really cool music. And he's like, "Oh, okay." And then as we're driving, I can see him going, and he's just kind of, and he's getting into it. Awesome. And so then he goes back, and I had told him you were going to be on the show and whatnot. And he's like, "Yeah," he goes, I went on Spotify or Apple or one of them. He goes, and I bought some of their songs off of there, I was like, "Oh, okay," So,
thank you.
But yeah, I mean, I personally put it in the first time I heard it. Obviously, I went out and bought it, and then it didn't take me long to get in and get hooked. But you're right. Some people, it does. It takes that couple different times to.
It does. And that happened to me because I like a certain band. And I'll even name a couple of them, like Motley Crue. The first 3 albums were phenomenal. Theater of Pain was a killer album, but the only thing is the production sucked. It sounded like shit. I didn't know that at the time, but the older I've gotten, listening to stuff, I can, being a musician, I can tell. But, certain albums after that, it took me a while to actually, I had to listen to them a bunch of times to get, I don't know if I was trying to make myself like it or what, but it's not just them, like Foo Fighters. I thought I've loved everything Foo Fighters did until the last few CDs. And I'm not saying there's any fillers on there, but there's songs that just don't grab me like the way they used to.
But
You know,
were
and
you
that's for
trying
everybody.
to compare them to the earlier records?
I think so. I think it's, I know bands need to change. We've changed over the years with our, not style, but, you progress and hopefully get better. But I think it's because, going back listening to AC/DC. AC/DC never wrote another Back in Black. So is that what I'm waiting on? Not per se AC/DC, but I'm just saying, is that
No, 100%. I get what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
It's probably also difficult because when you say getting better, it's like people's ideas change. I mean, let's say in a relationship, people can go to the same direction and mature together, but also move in different directions,
right?
And just don't get along anymore. And it's the same with musical taste. What you think is better nowadays is probably not the same that people see and hear.
Exactly.
I don't believe AC/DC is saying we're going to do a crap album now, but it's not the same as Back in Black.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't like the same way I used to like the old stuff.
And there's a lot of people that taking AC/DC into consideration. Once Bon Scott passed away, they're like, okay, I can't do the new Brian Johnson stuff.
Yeah.
I only like the old Bon Scott stuff, and I don't like the new stuff.
Yeah.
And then maybe it takes them a while. They're like, okay, well, maybe it is pretty good. Maybe there is something here with this Back in Black thing. I don't know, but
But
Motley Crue, when they changed singers with John Corabi, when it first came out, I hated it. I was like, it's not Vince Neil. It's not Motley Crue from back in the day, Now I listen to it, and to me, it's one of the best Motley Crue albums ever. I mean, I have to rank it with the first one that they ever did.
But see, I do feel that way, and the reason I do feel that way, and the reason I brought that up is because I did take that record when it came out, and I was comparing it to Girls, 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 or Shout at the Devil.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, this is Motley Crue. This is not. This is shit.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who like that record with Corabi, and I have nothing against Corabi. But
it took it a while to grow on me.
Yeah.
What's that?
It took it a while for it to grow on
me. Exactly. It
know?
Never did on me, and I don't think I gave it a fair shake. I probably should go back and give it a re-listen. But, it is what it is.
Yeah. But until I started listening to John and playing shows with him, that's when I grew to
appreciate it.
Right. Not just it, but him and everything,
Right.
But that's that tunnel vision that
yes.
I only like what I did like, and I got to get out of that.
And
it's also, if you take exactly these two examples, AC/DC and Motley Crue, I think when you compare the change from Highway to Hell to Back in Black to Motley Crue change, AC/DC's sound foundation was still pretty much similar. You could relate to that. It was a different singer.
Right.
But the sound from Motley Crue was not just a different voice. The entire band sounded different.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was different. The songwriting, songs. And that's probably what made it way more difficult to
it was heavier. Yeah. It was more grungy. It was but to me, I mean, production wise, it was the best sounding album.
But that's what hit me is exactly what you just said, Andy. It was the whole sound had changed, not just the vocalist.
Yes. Yeah.
Not just the vocalist. It was the whole sound.
Mm-hmm. And it sounded like a different band. Probably it would have been even more successful if it wasn't named Motley Crue, but I don't know.
Exactly. You're right.
Yeah, because going back to what I said a minute ago, Chris, I like Corabi and the Scream, and I liked him with Bruce Kulick from when they had the band The Union.
Right.
If you're familiar with those, Andy, those are two great bands, that John Corabi was in. But when he did Motley Crue, I could not find that. Yeah. I just couldn't find it.
Yeah, but the name and also, what you see, it wakes certain expectations in you.
Yes.
And if it goes too far away or too far astray from what you're expecting, you don't like it.
Right.
Well, here's a prime example. I didn't like Nirvana that much.
Still don't.
Loved Dave Grohl. Loved the drummer. I didn't know who the drummer was. Loved the drumming in it in Nirvana. And then when Dave Grohl came out with Foo Fighters, I didn't know until the second album that he was the drummer from Nirvana.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if that would have changed my outlook on Foo Fighters if I would have known that. But not knowing it, I instantly fell in love with the Foo Fighters, So it's so weird how things can play on your head.
Both ways. You can love something more that you probably wouldn't, or you can dislike something that
exactly
you have no reason
give it a
for.
chance.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys familiar with disliking a band just because you don't like a person in it?
Yeah.
I dislike bands because I don't like their album covers. What are you talking about?
Well, you wouldn't look at like our stuff because it's simple. I'm the one that designs it, so it's not very cool. But oh Lord,
so
man.
We've been talking about bands for quite a while here, and everything. But so, what was some of the influences for you as a kid growing up, listening to parents' records or your friends' parents' records? And what's some of the influences that you guys as a band take and put into your music?
Well, I think
because it's got a great hard rock sound, a great hard rock basis. So there's somebody there that you guys really looked up to and said, man, I like these guys. We want to sound not dead on them, but we want to use that kick-ass hard rock basis that they have,
It's like I was always a huge fan of Guns N' Roses. Since I was 12 years old, I had my walls plastered with posters and everything. And Michael and I, we both shared the enthusiasm. And we exchanged concert videos and stuff like that. I love Kiss. I love Motley Crue. And I think Michael and I, we are pretty much on the same level of bands that we love and like. Our drummer Manu, he's more into power metal. He's more into bands like Avantasia, Egg Guy. Yes, exactly. and it's also interesting how nowadays we bring in ideas, but everybody contributes in his thinking. And I think today we have a blend of styles. And with Chris on board and also the songwriting contributions from him, he's more into the 70s rock bands. He's very much into Malmsteen. And it's yet again a completely different sound, shape. And but it blends together perfectly. And I think I stopped trying to make a new Guns N' Roses record. We don't have the same kind of vocalist. We don't have the same kind of band.
Thank God.
No.
I mean, I love Guns N' Roses, but Axl,
there. You know what? There is only one Guns N' Roses. There is only one Led Zeppelin. There's only one AC/DC.
There's only one Black Diamond.
Don't get me wrong. I love Airborne, but there's still only one AC/DC. But
Airborne.
By the way, Keith, Airborne's coming to Columbus. So.
Oh, cool. I did not see that. I got
always
Scully's. Yeah. So
I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. All right. Well, hold on, real quick, Andy. We're fixing to have to get off here. We're a couple more real quick questions, but I gotta wrap it up. I gotta go to work, unfortunately. But
you still do that?
You know how that is. You just got off work, so
exactly.
Time difference. But yeah, go ahead, Keith.
No. I was just gonna say, so Airborne's coming here. I'm assuming they're not tagged on a large ticket.
No. It's just them, as far as I know. I mean, it's just them, and then I guess somebody's opening or whatever.
So, what's the chances of you guys tagging on with somebody, maybe as a triple bill or something, and getting over here? There's some phenomenal bands out there. Are you guys have a manager, I'm assuming, that's promoting, your tour promoter or whatever. Are you working on anything right now?
We are in close contact with our label, which is also doing a lot of concert organization for us. And right now we're pretty busy with covering Europe. It's even hard to get back to the UK at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with all the Brexit stuff. And as I said, there's not more clubs than there used to be, but there's more bands.
Yeah.
And what you said with a triple bill, something like that, always makes sense, and we're on that kind of thing. But getting into the US, well, if you have an idea about somebody who could help us organizing something like that, give me a shout. We would love to do that.
Yeah, actually, I know some ladies that are going to Australia and other countries, Paradise Kitty, and they work through a company that does worldwide stuff. So as soon as I find that out, I'll send that to Keith and let him send that to you. So
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Not that anything will happen, but I mean, you never know. So
if you do nothing will happen for sure.
Exactly. That's the way I talk about the lottery. If you're not in it, you can't win it.
Exactly.
One of the things that Chris is really big on, and reason that our show is kind of the way it is, he's really big on the smaller art. Yeah, he's really big on independent and smaller, label artists and whatnot. And if we can, like I said, especially me, if I can put out the word and spread the word of Black Diamond and get people to get on board with this, maybe that'll lead to something, because
that's what this platform is for, promoting, music, bands, artists, from just starting out to full blown, to the big guys.
And that's why you have me on the show, because all the things
you're a big guy
up right now, I'm going to destroy now with my voice and appearance, right? Yeah.
Damn right. Man, well, Andy, has been a pleasure. My head's starting to feel a little bit better. That's good, because I got to go.
Oh, good.
But
I see that.
Anyway, it has been awesome. We'll have to do this again when we have more time, because I'm sure we can.
Absolutely.
I like the instead of a question answer type thing, I like the open conversation of guys talking about music. Of course it's all about you, the artist, and stuff like that. But I still, it's still open. Who better knows the artist than the artist? And once people see that you're more, that you're just like us, and just like, no different than Switzerland than here, just the accent's different, and country still looks the damn same, might be prettier here or there or wherever, but that's everywhere,
Yeah, it's always prettier there,
Yeah, well, some places maybe, but
exactly.
Not Ohio.
You ain't been to New York City then.
Okay.
But yeah, Keith, any last words real quick?
No, I just I want to express my sincere gratitude for you coming on and doing this, and taking the time out to get on our show and do this for us and whatnot. And like I said, I want to help spread the word of No Tell Motel.
There you go.
Great record, great band, and hopefully we can do this again, and hopefully we'll get to see you over here.
Yeah,
I hope so too.
Like I said,
thank you very much for having the chance to talk to you. It was a real pleasure, and I think we could have gone on for hours.
Oh yeah,
yes,
like
I think so.
Another one here before long.
I think so.
To do it earlier in the day, that way. Well, now, because you're at work or stuff. But anyway, we'll get something figured out. But
we get something figured out. Awesome. I guess so too. Yeah.
There you go. But everybody could check now. Is it Diamonds with an S?
Yes.
Okay, so Black Diamonds. I was right. All right. So yeah, Black Diamonds. Go check them out. Check out their CDs. Check out their stuff on YouTube.
Evil Twin, the video, you'll love it.
Yeah. I found a lot of good videos on there. So
there is.
I watched 3 of them while
there's
I
a lot of good songs.
While I was off So yeah, appreciate you. And Andy, it's been a pleasure, and we will talk hopefully soon.
And I still got that beer when you come over, brother.
That's right.
I'll hold on to that. Thank you.
All right.
All right, everybody.
Cheers to the rest of the guys.
Yeah,
Bye-bye,
Talkbox
guys.
Live.
Thank
We're out,
you.
and we'll see y'all again soon.
Thanks, buddy. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
All right. All right, dude. I got to get